Now we are now we start the temporomandibular joint. This temporomandibular joint is a joint between the mandible and the temporal bone of the head, and so this joint present on either side of the on each side of temporal bone, and with the mandible bone. The mandible bone is a single bone in the body which has the two heads, and the both heads of mandible bone joined with the temporal bone. So this temporomandibular joint, also called as a single unit, both two temporomandibular joint, also called in a single unit with craniomandibular articulation or joint. This temporomandibular joint is a variety of condylar type of the synovial joint. Now we are studying about the temporomandibular joint. This temporomandibular joint has a condyle of the mandible. This is the head of the mandible, and this is the surface of the temporal bone. This temporal bone has the two part. This concave part is called articular fossa, and this convex part is called the articular tubercle or articular eminence. So these articular tubercle, articular fossa and articular eminence form together the upper surface of the upper articular surface of temporomandibular joint, and this the head of the mandible. This head of the mandible form the lower articular surface for the temporomandibular joint. So now in this joint there is two articular surface. One is on the temporal bone and one on the head of mandible. Other than there is the other part which is called scomotympanic fissure. So this is also attached. This is also come in the joint, and this is atypical synovial joint because of the fibrocartilage cover the articular surface. These articular surfaces are covered by the fibrocartilage. And in the typical synovial joint, these covered by the hyaline cartilage. So now we are going forward in the joint cavity. The joint cavity is divided by the intra-articular disc. This intra-articular disc you can see in this sagittal section. This is the intra-articular disc, or this is the divide the joint cavity into two parts. The upper part is called the meniscotemporal compartment and the lower part is called the meniscomandibular compartment. This upper part meniscotemporal compartment, lower part meniscomandibular compartment. And this is the external acoustic meter. This is styloid process, and this is the joint capsule, and this is the fibrocartilage covers the articular surface in this diagram. And then now we are, and with these both compartment permits different movements. The upper compartment has the loose capsule of the joint, so, and the lower compartment has the tightly attached capsule. So this upper compartment permits the gliding movements, and the lower compartments permit gliding as well as rotational movement. Now the joint cavity has the articular disc. This articular disc has divide the cavity into two parts as we mentioned, and so this articular disc formed by the fibrocartilage mainly of the collagen fiber. this complete articular disc, and its articular disc has upper surface is the con upper surface is convex and concave surface, and the lower surface has concave surface. So the upper surface fit with the temporal bone in the articular fossa and articular eminence as well, and the lower surface fit the head of the mandible. So this is the क्या बोलते हैं इसको, this is articular disc, and this articular disc in sagittal section has 5 parts. This is come from anterior to posterior side. In the anterior side, this is the anterior extension, and this is the anterior band, and this posterior band, and between the two anterior and posterior band there is the thin part. This is the thin part, is called thin zone or intermediate zone, and this is the posterior bilaminar zone. The posterior bilaminar zone has the upper lamina and lower lamina. This upper lamina is composed of the fibrous tissue, and this lower lamina is composed of the non-fibrous tissue, and the upper lamina is go and attach to the scomotympanic fissure, and the lower lamina is attached to the back of the condyle or and with fibrous capsule. So this has the 5 parts. The 5 parts we mentioned there is the anterior extension. This is the anterior band, and this anterior extension continue with the fibrous part with the capsule, and this the पेंसिल से जो बना रखी है ये है इधर lateral pterygoid muscles, lateral. So this anterior extension continue with the fibrous capsule and the fibers of the lateral pterygoid muscles, and this is anterior band, this is the posterior band, and this intermediate zone, and this is the posterior bilaminar zone. So these 5 parts of the articular disc present in the articular disc. Now this is the joint. We discuss about articular surface, articular disc, and the joint cavity. Now we are discuss about the ligaments of the temporomandibular joint. There is the 4 main ligament of temporomandibular joint, in which the 2 ligaments are accessory. We will discuss. There is the first ligament is the capsule or fibrous capsule. The fibrous capsule is attached above on the surface of the articular tubercle and the articular fossa and scomotympanic fissure, and on the upper side and on the lower side this attached to the neck of the condyle of the mandible. So this is seen like this. This is the fibrous capsule. The other ligament, and this fibrous capsule is tight below the articular disc, and this loose above the articular disc. The other ligament is the lateral temporomandibular ligament. This lateral temporomandibular ligament attached above the articular tubercle and below to the posterolateral part of the neck of the part of the neck of condyle of the mandible, and this lateral temporomandibular ligament formed by the thickening of the capsular ligament, and this strengthens the lateral aspect of the temporomandibular joint. The next is the next one is the sphenomandibular ligament. This is the sphenomandibular ligament. This is the spine of sphenoid bone, This is the spine of sphenoid bone, and this is attached. Now we are discussing about sphenomandibular ligament. It is a accessory ligament and is it attached above on the spine of sphenoid and below to the lingula of the mandible on the inner aspect of the ramus of mandible. And this ligament, sphenomandibular ligament, presents the unossified intermediate part of the sheath of first Meckel's cartilage or sheet of the Meckel's cartilage of first pharyngeal arch. And this is when the mandible is protruded, both accessory ligaments are taut. So there is the important relation of this ligament. So on the medial side of the ligament there is present of chorda tympani nerve and medial pterygoid muscle, and the chorda tympani nerve present medial to the spine of sphenoid, and there is laterally present of the auriculotemporal nerve and lateral pterygoid muscles, and other than there is a maxillary artery and inferior alveolar nerve on the lateral side. So the when spine of sphenoid has importance because when it gets fracture, so it both sides have two nerve, chorda tympani and the auriculotemporal nerve. These are both to supply the postganglionic fibers, secretomotor fibers of the parotid gland, and the chorda tympani supply the postganglionic secretomotor fibers of the submandibular and sublingual gland. So if these both nerves get injured, then there is a loss of salivation in mouth. The next is the stylomandibular ligament. This is attached from the styloid process. This is the styloid process. This is and to the upside and the ramus posterior border or surface of the ramus on the back side. And this is the thickening formed by the thickening of the investing layer of the fascia, and it separates the parotid gland with the submandibular gland. These are ligament, and this is the also accessory ligament. The accessory ligament of temporomandibular joint control the range of movement. And now the relations of the temporomandibular joint. The relations of the temporomandibular joint. Laterally we can see there is skin in outermost part with fascia, and then parotid gland, and then the temporal branch of the facial nerve is curved, and in its medial part of the medial side of the temporomandibular joint there is we can see there is the spine of sphenoid, and both these side we learn about auriculotemporal nerve and the chorda tympani nerve, and there is the ligament. This is also on medial side. This is the sphenomandibular ligament. So this is the medial relation of the temporomandibular joint, and other than there is a middle meningeal artery also present in this in the medial relation of TM joint. And the in front of the TM joint. In front means this area. In this area there is the present of the tendon of lateral pterygoid muscles and the mesenteric nerve and vessels. And in the posterior or behind this there is the presence of the superficial temporal vessel, auriculotemporal nerve and external acoustic meatus, and some part of the parotid gland which is covered the posterior part of the temporomandibular joint. So this is the all relations of the temporomandibular joint, and the temporomandibular joint is supplied by auriculotemporal nerve and mesenteric nerve, and there is the blood supply by maxillary nerve and superficial temporal maxillary artery and superficial temporal artery. And there is we can now read about the movement of mandible. Movements of the mandible. There is mainly two types of the movements. There are two types of the movement. These are the gliding and rotatory. These gliding and rotatory movements, these both joined and form the movements of the mandible. The movements of these movements happens at the temporomandibular joints, and the mandible have the other movement due to because of these two movements at TM joint. There is the depression, elevation, and protrusion, retraction, and there is the side by side movement of the mandible. The depression when the chin mandible is go downward, and when elevation the jaw when close elevate upward and close to the mouth, and protrusion there is the movement of the mandible in the forward direction, and retraction there is the movement of the mandible in the backward direction, and the side by side movement or shaving movements. So we can write there depression for opening the mouth, and and elevation for the closing of the mouth, and there is the protrusion, forward movement of mandible, and there is the retraction, this is the backward movement and side by side movement of the mandible. So we can learn which muscles used for this. There is the opening of the mouth, there is only one muscle, that is the lateral pterygoid muscle, and this one muscle come from the muscles of mastication, and इसके अलावा digastric, genuine, mylohyoid, also the other muscles, digastric, genuine or mylohyoid, which accessory muscles for the opening of the mouth, and muscles for the elevation. These are the other three muscles of mastication. These are the medial pterygoid, masseter, and the temporalis. These three muscles are so one lateral pterygoid, and these three muscles are called muscles of mastication. The protrusion, forward movement, these forward movement carried out by the lateral and medial pterygoid muscle, and the backward movement is carried out by the posterior fibers of the temporalis muscle. So these are the movement happening at the temporomandibular joint. Now we read about the applied. So number one, first is the palpation. We can palpate the TM joint because this joint is the subcutaneous. So we can present TM joint when we put our hand in front of the ear, and after opening and closing mouth regularly we can palpate the TM joint. Now the dislocation of mandible. The dislocation now we can understand in this. This is the articular fossa, and this is the head of mandible, and this is articular eminence. When the mouth is pulled open forcefully or by some forcefully, this head comes forward and downward, come forward and then glide. Then there is the rotatory movement, and if this take forcefully, this may be fixed in front of this tubercle, and this area is called the infratemporal fossa. So if the head of mandible comes at the infratemporal fossa, so this is the called dislocation of mandible, and this is corrected by the downward force of the head of mandible with the closing of the mouth. The next is the TM joint syndrome. The TM joint syndrome, there is dislocation. Number 3 is TM joint syndrome. TM joint syndrome में there is diffuse facial pain, headache or jaw pain. These are due to the spasm of the three different muscles. Facial pain due to the spasm of the masseter. Masseter muscle, and headache due to the spasm in the temporalis muscle, and jaw pain due to spasm of the lateral pterygoid muscle. So this is the applied of the temporomandibular joint. Thank you.